Obedience is
So
better
I'm
than
gonna bring a
sacrifice,
quick
part 1 of
word
3.
on obedience is better than sacrifice, and I will be reading a few um, scriptures from First Samuel 13 and also 15. So topic is obedience is better than sacrifice. Glory be to God in the highest. So First Samuel 13, the heading is Samuel rebukes Saul. I'm going to start from verse 7, and I'm going to go to 14, and I'm going to go to um, um, 1 Samuel 15, and I'm going to select a few verses, important verses out of that. All right, glory be to God in the highest. So, 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 7. And some of the Hebrews went over Jordan to the land of Gad, as in Gad, and Gilead. As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling. And he tarried 7 days, according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. Verse 9. And Saul said, Bring hither a burnt offering to me, and peace offering. And he offered the burnt offering. And it came to pass that as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came, and Saul went out to meet him, that he might salute him. So we see in verse 9 and verse 10 that it explained that Saul didn't wait on Samuel, and Saul went ahead to offer burnt offering. Verse 11. And Samuel said, What hast thou done? And Saul said, Because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that thou camest not within the days appointed, and that the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash. Therefore said I, The Philistines will come down upon me to Gilgal, and I have not made supplication unto the Lord. I forced myself therefore and offered a burnt offering. So we see that Saul recognized that he had forced himself. He was impatient. He couldn't wait, and he admitted that he forced himself and offered a burnt offering. 13. And Samuel said to Saul, Thou hast done foolishly. Thou hast not kept the commandment of the Lord thy God, which he commanded thee. For now would the Lord have established thy kingdom upon Israel forever. So we see that Samuel was pointing out to Saul that he's made a foolish mistake because he couldn't wait and he was impatient, and know that the the that chance for the Lord to establish the kingdom upon Israel is now um, there's no some issue because of Saul's disobedience and his impatience. 14. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. The Lord hath sought him a man after his own heart, and the Lord hath commanded him to be the captain over his people, because thou hast not kept that which the Lord commanded thee. So we see that it makes reference to that the Lord had sought him a man after his own heart, and we know that David is a man after God's own heart. And we see that Samuel further explained that Saul did not keep the commandment of the Lord, or that which the Lord commanded Saul. So I'm going to jump to 15. First Samuel chapter 15, and the heading for First Samuel chapter 15, Samuel rejected as a king. So I'm going to read verse 9, then I'm going to jump to 18, 19, and probably 20, then jump to 23, then 26, and then probably the last three verse 33, 34, and 35. All right, let's go. So First Samuel chapter 15, verse 9. But people spread Agag and the best of the sheep and of the oxen and of the fatlings and the lambs and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refuse, that they destroyed utterly. So we see in verse 9 that it's telling us that Saul and the people, they spared Agag, which is the king, and the best of the sheep, the best of what was there, and that which was not good and was vile or refuse, we see that they destroyed them utterly. Then came the word of the Lord unto Saul, saying, It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he is turned back from following me, and hath not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto the Lord all night. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul, in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about and passed and gone down to Gilgal. So we see that the word of the Lord came to Samuel. So the Lord spoke to Samuel and explained what Saul did. And that Saul didn't follow the commandment. So we must understand that Saul was chosen by the people. Saul was the people's king. So in other words, Saul, in other words, wasn't sent, he went. And this post of kingship, it wasn't ordained by God, it was the people's choice. All right, so let me jump to 18. And the Lord sent thee on a journey, and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Lord? 20. And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoils sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God in Gilgal. And Samuel said, Hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of ram. So we see that Samuel was explaining to Saul that the Lord is more interested in obedience than sacrifice, or obedience as opposed to sacrificing something that was inherited due to disobedience. 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. So we see that the explanation was that the rebellion of Saul was likened to, or there was a comparison to, witchcraft. And stubbornness being likened or compared to iniquity and idolatry, because that is what he was doing. That is the spirit that rose up in Saul when he went ahead and he spared the king, and he didn't destroy the spoil, when he spared the king Agag, and didn't destroy the spoil, the items that belong to the Amalekites. All right, I'm going to jump to verse 26. And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord hath rejected thee from being king over Israel. So we see that a